We're sat just chatting, and all of a sudden, right, he gets this phone call on his mobile, and the phone call is with a guy who is clearly a ringleader, right, in one of these things I was talking to you about, which I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically he was a ringleader, right? And I tell you, as he started speaking to him, his physical body started to change, and his voice started to change, right? So where he was standing up straight, he was beginning to manifest a hunched back like Notre Dame, right? And his head went down, and his voice changed. And it was that classic case, like you're watching a movie, like, just started this kind of thing, right? And as he was talking, he was kind of, and I sort of like, I was beginning to get a bit like, oh no, something weird is happening. What's going on here? Anyway, the phone call kind of finished, and he had a full-on manifestation of a demon in his face at me, right? And I'm talking about, like, his whole face was slumped, like a gargoyle. His lips were hanging, and his mouth was quivering, and spit and saliva was hanging out of his mouth and dropping onto the floor. His whole body was hunched, and he was talking like literally like Gollum, out of Gollum. And I just completely freaked out, and I didn't really know what was going to happen. But I just started saying, all I said was, I looked at him, and I said, "We worship Jesus here. You're not welcome." Didn't do anything. Didn't bat an eyelid, right? So at this point, like, I've just mentioned the name of Jesus. Like, what else am I going to do now? And I'm beginning to sort of feel like the disciples did when they couldn't get the demons out. And I was beginning to think, where's this going to go? Like, so I just kept saying the name of Jesus. I kept looking at him saying, there is no place for you here. This you leave in the name of Jesus. This place is submit to Jesus Christ. You have no place here. And I must admit, I must have been saying that for like a good few minutes, freaking out the entire way, because this demon was not moving. It wasn't going anywhere. And so I was beginning to get worried, and I was like praying in the back of my mind, Lord, what am I supposed to do here? And I just kept going. But anyway, about sort of 3 or 4 minutes went by. It was like 20. It's like 5 hours. It was horrible. And eventually this demon started to reside back in this guy. And literally you just saw him recoil back into the body of this guy. And then the guy just sort of slumped back on the settee, on the couch in this upper room in the church, as if he was like quite worn out, And he also didn't fully know what had happened.